Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today's topics will include parenting and family. I'm Lady Bounce, and if you notice, I have a new person in the chair across from me, and I will let her introduce herself.
I am Lady Kryptonite.
All right.
No, we're not going to put Lady on there. I'm just Kryptonite, y'all.
You're just going to be Kryptonite?
I'm just going to be Kryptonite because somebody got to make you weak. Might as well be me.
I like it. All right, so you got kids.
I do.
I got kids.
You do.
Kind of.
Whatever. And look, well, this my sister, y'all, okay? So her kids is my children's too. You know, so we talking about family.
So why don't you take them to your house then? Stop playing with me.
Girl, please. Do you know how many kids you want me to take on some more? Oh, you tripping.
I'm saying. I mean, if you're going to claim them, I'm saying.
I know. Let me stop. I'm just telling jokes. All right. So I'm new to this. So like, what you should go ahead with the.
I think you should go ahead.
I'm going to do this. Okay. So my sister, you know, she's asked me to be on here today, and I wanted to talk about something that is like really, that's going on in my life right now, that's really fulfilling me spiritually. Then she gives me this book called A Mindful Day, and she has marked a passage that, oh my God, is speaking to my soul. So here it is. It's called Not Getting It Right. I release myself from the need to have it all together. I release myself from the desire of a perfect life. I release myself from my own judgments, and I release myself from the judgment of others. We spend most of our lives running away from something or running towards something. We try to accomplish our educational and career goals. We try to have the perfect relationships, the perfect family life. We desperately want to avoid the judgment of others, the perception that all is not well, that we do not have it together. This management of perceptions gets so exhausting, and yet continue it must. Okay, that messed me up right there. My bad. Okay. We can't just drop out of society, so we play the game. And yet meditation and mindfulness provide the slightest loophole and invisible place of refuge. Maybe we cannot drop everything and go live in a cave, but we can withdraw into the cave of the heart, this invisible place of stillness that we carry with us all the time. Here in this silent place, there is no getting it right, no doing it right. Allow yourself to just be here, with all of your faults and flaws intact. Everything that is wrong with you is also what is right with you. All of your imperfections are also your perfections. From the highest vantage point, there is not one single thing wrong in the whole universe. It is okay to just stop here for a moment to allow yourself to just be. So,
I like that.
It's great. And let me tell you why this is speaking to me right now.
Okay.
Because as a parent, I have 4 children. I have 3 boys and a girl. Three kings and a queen.
Wow.
Yes. And my oldest child is 25, and he is about to become a parent himself of twins. I'm excited. And it's one-stop shop, baby. A boy and a girl. You ain't got to have no more. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. But what has made my heart so full is that he met this girl 4 years ago. They've been together for 4 years, and the pregnancy was unplanned. But my child stepped up into manhood with such he kicked the door down with combat boots on. Do you hear me? This man has been with this girl every step of the way. Whatever dilemma she thought she had, my child said, I got this.
Right.
He didn't just move her from one place to another. He moved her from state to state. Okay, she came from one state, came to this state, and now lives in another state. You know, so wow. And he did that. You know, he did that.
I know he went and got a second job because he called he called me to tell me that he was having the babies. He said, "Auntie, I already want you to know I'm doing it right." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean doing it right? First of all, what is doing it right?" I didn't know what that meant. But then he was like, "I already went and got a second job because I know that when she has the babies, I want to stay home with her and spend as much time with her as possible. So I want to make sure we got some money saved up." And I was like, wow, I know grown men in their 30s and 40s is not thinking like
this
that.
Grown young man.
This grown kid. Because he's still a kid to me. I'm like,
you know,
I know
that's
he's
always gonna be that with us.
right.
You
Like
know?
he's still my baby. Like, because he is my oldest nephew. So he has a special place. He's my first nephew. So I'm like, you know, I still remember being like this. You know, cracking jokes with him, and that's waterhead. You know, sit down somewhere. So
Hey, look,
to
don't you
see,
be talking about my child now.
I mean, I can't help it. He got your head, but I mean,
oh, you went there though.
I mean, I'm saying though,
Okay.
but as an auntie, I was so proud. I was like, that's amazing. And he's like, I didn't want to really tell you over the phone, but I couldn't come over your house the other day like I wanted to because I had to go to work. And I was like, wow. I was about to cry. I called Jay. At first, I sent Jay just a text of the ultrasound. He was like, "What is this? What am I looking at?" I'm like,
And now they come in 3D now. I was looking at that like, what? I don't know what the, you know, it was a little
like
bit.
you see a real baby
Yeah,
in
I
there.
was like, okay, they doing it like that now. That's what's up. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I was geeked.
But as a mom though,
Yeah, so
you
as a
know,
mom.
as his mom, you know, what made me, you know, I'm just now excited at the thought of being a grandmother. When he first told me, I just sprouted 5 new gray hairs and immediately started to look like grandma. And I mean, I'm telling you,
No.
I'm telling you, like 20 minutes after he told me that he was having twins, we was outside and he was about to get in his car and I'm about to get in my car to go to work. He's like, you look like grandma. You just told me I'm gonna be a grandma. Yeah, I probably do look like grandma right now. I felt the hairs grow.
I know when I sent you the text and was like, "Hey, Granny, LOL," you was like, "No."
Okay, I felt the hairs literally sprout out of my scalp. Okay, but watching his transition from that moment
Yeah.
into this during the course of this pregnancy and the things that he's done in his character as a man, gosh, it warms my heart. It because I was a single mom, you know. So growing up, well, I'm not gonna say growing up. Yeah, we kind of did grow up together. I was a young mom, you know what I'm saying?
you were.
You know, I was a young mom. So being a young mom, I think a lot of us, especially being young single mothers and young single black mothers in an era where there was crack, where there was crack dealers, crack heads, I lived on the west side, so
Right.
we already know how that went. You know, you had aunts and uncles and grandma. You had crack.
Everybody got that crackhead uncle
in your family, you know, and they
Yeah.
wasn't trying to put nobody in treatment. They were sending folks to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so growing up with that around, and I always talk to my kids. You know, I often wondered if I had exposed them to too much growing up, because I wasn't there to shelter. I wasn't there to say, hey, you can't listen to this. You can't do you. Cause somebody had to work.
Right.
And it, you know, if I didn't work, they didn't eat. So it wasn't an issue of being able to not expose them to certain things. But what I did do is when I knew they was exposed to certain things, I talked to them. So we talked about movies that they watch. We talked about songs that they listen to. Mm-hmm. We talked about the crackheads out in the streets. We talked about that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And we talked about the struggles of a single mother. And we talked about, hey, son, this is your life right now. Don't be going out here all willy-nilly quick to be, you know, with some girl or whatever, and then somebody ends up pregnant unexpectedly. Yeah. And then you find yourself having to be a father. Look at your situation now, where you are now, where your father is, where I am, how you all interact. There are things that should be better. There are things that you would like to be different. Take into consideration, these are the things that's going to happen if you are not with your woman and your child 24/7. Like if you're not in the same household, you know, and, you know, we hope that the lessons that we teach our children, that they're being heeded. We hope that they listen to us, and seeing my son, the way that my son has stepped up and the things that he has been doing for these past couple of months warms my heart, fills my heart with joy, and lets me be proud of myself. It lets me be able to step back in this moment that I am happy for him, and seeing him and how he has transitioned and the adult that he has become and the man that he has become. And for me to say to myself, damn, You know, girl, you really
You
like
did it.
girlfriend. You whatever you thought you didn't do,
Exactly.
you did that. Like you did that. You know,
Right.
I did feel. You know, I didn't have money for my kids to go to college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I didn't know what papers to fill out. I didn't make it to all them school meetings. Cause again,
somebody got to work.
somebody had to work. I was that one. You know, I didn't.
Right.
It was like that, and don't get it twisted. And I'm saying that there was absolutely no contribution at all, but the contribution that there was minimal,
Right.
minimal at best. It was minimal. You know,
I can attest.
Financially and emotionally,
Yes.
it was minimal at best. So, I mean that,
Yeah.
but that was what that was.
But that also gave your kids an opportunity to learn self-sufficiency earlier than the
Yes. Oh my
typical
gosh.
kid on so many levels.
Yes.
So not just about, staying focused in school. They all found their own way to college.
No.
Look, your Brian went for a little while.
Let me say this.
And then Brene, she went and was
Stop saying names.
okay. So, one went and then discovered maybe this ain't the path I want to take, and that's fine. But they had the opportunity
that's
to
not
do
true.
that. So,
That's not true. He went, but he couldn't stay.
okay.
And he couldn't stay because I didn't have my shit together.
Okay.
I mean, we just gonna keep it 100.
Okay.
You know, there are, but by the same token, yes, I do feel some type of way about that. But I also know that there are different avenues that he could have taken that he chose not to, and that's
Right.
fine because that's his life.
Right.
But I had to release myself of bearing that burden and feeling some type of way because there
Right.
does come a point where you have to let that go. And I came to realize that in my own adulthood, having the issues that I had with, our parents growing up. You know, there were things that I had to let go of in my adulthood that I had to look back and be like, well, there's only so much you can look back and say, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that.
Right.
At some point, you got to stop and be like, well, sweetheart, you started making your own decisions. And when you made those decisions, they were yours. You can't put that on anybody else, So there's decisions that, and I can honestly say that I always try and guide him in a direction that I feel would be best for him to take.
Right.
All of them
Right.
that I feel would be best for them to take. But that doesn't make that their best decision. That doesn't mean that that's
Right.
what's going to work for them. I might see the greener grass on the other side.
Right.
But
But
that
you don't know what you're talking about, mama.
No.
You don't know nothing.
I'm not even gonna say that. It's not even that, and then it wasn't that the right things weren't put in place and the right
Right.
connections weren't there.
But that's
it's
what
just
I get
that
told.
wasn't the path that he wanted
Right.
in the end. So as mom, I had to step back and let that be what that was because he is a young man growing into his own. So
Right.
he got to find his way. We can only do what we can do as women for our young men. We can't teach them how to be men. If there's no man around to show them how to do that, then that is something that they have to do on their own. But
Right.
that doesn't mean that we don't have a say in how they go about doing it. You know what I mean?
I mean, that makes perfect sense. Like, I have, my own kids and my kids have, a father around, but I hear that sometimes too. Like, well, you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what's best for me. And I'm like, excuse me. Remember me? You came from me. So everything you are is because of me. I see what you don't see. And that is my job or part of my gift is to be able to see what you don't see, but also struggling with having the wisdom of when to pull back and let you go ahead and do you, but knowing that I see something else. And so for my adult son, that's where our struggle is now, is that like, I see this. This is what I see for you. This is what you could have. This is what you could do. And his thing is, well, you need better glasses.
Right. Right. Because you can, like they say, you can only lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink. So just because I see it for you,
Right.
if you can't see it for yourself, all I can do is point you in that direction.
Yeah, like,
now,
here
if
it
you
is.
walk that way, that's what's up. But if you look down there and you decide you don't like what you see, or that don't seem to be
Right.
what you want to do, and you decide to go the other way, I didn't fail you. You know what I'm saying? I did what I was supposed to do as a parent. I did what I was supposed to do. I guided you there. But if you
Right.
chose not to go that way, all I can do is let you do what you do, and
Right.
just try and be here as much as I can.
Right.
If something should happen and you
Right.
need to fall back.
and be there for you when it doesn't go the way you expected, without the judgment.
Right.
And I think for a lot of parents, that is an issue. That, like, you didn't take the path I wanted you to take. Now you're coming back to me to say, hey, mom, that didn't work out. So the response from me as a parent shouldn't be, well, I told you and you shoulda, because then that's going to make them turn away. And for a lot of parents, I think that's hard because we're so into that, well, I told you 1,000,000 times. And you have to, like you said, you got to take yourself out of it and go, okay, well, what do you need from me now?
I'm not that savvy. I'm gonna tell you. No, look, I'm not that enlightened. No, because I am going to tell you, if there's something that went down,
Right.
and I told you,
Right.
and you went and did your thing anyway, and then you come back to me and be like, I'm gonna be like, but what did I tell you though?
Yeah, but then you're also going to give the help, right?
Of course I'm gonna give the help, but I'm also gonna tell you I told you. So the next time I tell you,
Then you listen.
I'm gonna
the
need
first
you to
time.
pay attention, and because I know what I'm talking about. Because I always tell my children, I don't tell you anything that's gonna hurt you. Anything
Right.
I tell you is gonna help you.
Right.
Anything I tell you, if don't nobody else on this planet love you, I do.
Right.
Recognize that. I love you. If nobody else do, I do.
Yeah.
So anything I say to you is for your benefit. So if you choose not to listen to it, that's fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you gonna hear that I told you.
But
you
you-
only gonna hear it once. I'm only gonna say it once.
But you're going to hear it.
But you
as a-
gonna
I think I could take hearing it. Like, you got to hear it at least once. But I couldn't take constantly hearing
No,
it.
I'm not gonna browbeat you about
Right. And that's, I think, for a lot of parents, that's where they mess up at. They just keep going. And then kids get turned off. Like, I don't want to, okay, yeah, mom, I messed up. I know I messed up. You told me I messed up. Can we move on? But some parents would be like, well, if you had just did what I told you to do in the first place,
You know,
I don't
this
want to hear it 5
conversation
years
is
later.
reminding me that I need to tell one of my kids something.
you want to write it down so you don't
You
forget?
know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell two of them. As a matter of fact, there's about two of them I need to get with now that I think about it.
But you've also, to further your testament, you've also lived your life very transparently, where they've seen you tired. They've seen you work 3, 4, 5 shifts in a row
Man,
without a break,
hey, look.
without a day off.
I'ma tell you
So
what.
when you tell your kids something, when you give out the life advice, they take it differently because they've seen it.
I'm gonna tell you what. 2 lessons. I don't know what that means. But I'm gonna tell you what. 2 lessons that my children learn. Work ethic
Yes, definitely that.
and not having children before you're ready.
Right. Okay.
Those are 2 things that I know for sure them children
Yes.
learned. You
And
know
they've
what I'm
all
saying?
made it out of high school
And I'm not gonna
without being parents.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that my son was ready to be a father, but when it came up that he was going to be a father, he did not back down.
No, he
He
didn't.
did not.
He ran at it straight ahead.
Hey, man, he put on some boots and he went
He
trampling
did.
through it. That
Yeah.
young man has filled my heart with joy just watching how he does.
Well, I told him.
For this woman. These children not here yet at all.
I know. But watching the journey is exciting.
He is getting them together.
Yes.
He is getting her together. He is getting himself together. He is going to make sure that these children are together.
Well, we talked about names because he does have this awesome opportunity because it's a boy and a girl. So he was talking about naming the daughter after my daughter.
Oh.
And so I told him, I said, if you do that, you know you got a babysitter for life, because she is all for it. As soon as I told her that, you know, the two names he was picking between, she was like, oh, yep, I'm there.
I'm going to tell you that boy name.
What? Well, when we talked, he was going to name, like, you know, Amira's name is Amira means princess. And then Amir means prince. So I was like, if you did both of those, I'm like, that would be dope.
Listen, that idea was awesome, and I was all for that. That's not what it is now. I'm not going to go into it.
Okay, you have to tell me later.
I will, but
because if it's some garbage, I'm
so irritated.
If it's some garbage, I'm gonna put on my teacher hat and go, look here, son.
Listen, it's not gonna matter, because he is dead set on this particular boy name. The girl name, I'm not so, but this particular boy name, I'm like,
nope. We're gonna have to have a conversation,
right?
Yeah. So I'm about to call up my favorite nephew, like, son.
But just to expand though on some of, you know, looking at him and what he's going through and everything, it's made me reflect not just on him, but all four of my children, right, and what they're going through and the experiences that they have had in life thus far. And I can just say that I've got some great kids. My children are freaking awesome.
And I look at you and I look at your kids and I admire the things that you did for them and the things that you didn't do for them. And because of those things, that is why they're great. So, like, don't ever look at it and go, oh, somehow they just turned out that way. No. You know, Kanye West has a song that says, everything I'm not made me everything I am. So everything you gave them and everything you didn't give them made them who they are. And when I look at my own kids, I did the opposite in some ways, where I did shelter them from, you know, not all of the bad, but I sheltered them from this or sheltered them from that, you know, when they were little. And as a result of that, when they started getting exposed to these things, it was like culture shock 1000, because they had never seen it. And I'm like, I wonder, would they have reacted different had they been exposed to it, you know, at younger ages, younger phases? Now, my kids are okay, but in terms of some of the stuff that they missed out on being exposed to, I think it did cause them to be kind of held back socially in some ways, especially, you know, for my son, because he's not socially awkward, but he's socially awkward. Like, when he's around certain places, he'd be the one in the back corner. You'd be like, oh, I didn't even know he was over there. Mm-hmm. Because he was just kind of,
you know, the thing about your oldest child and my middle child, I find them to be quite similar.
Yes.
Them and then I'm, you know, our brother's middle child.
Yes.
He's in that spectrum too.
Yes.
But my middle child, he's the quiet guy, and he's the guy that's off in the corner too. Mm-hmm. And he's just, you know, he's just over there chilling. Yeah,
you wouldn't know he was there unless you actually saw him. Like, oh, you did show up.
You know.
But as he's, you know, he's older now and he grew out of a lot of it, which is great. But I just think about during those formative years when that stuff was important. If he had that.
The thing about that is, when we started having children, it was such a transitional stage in the world, period, in society, with the crack epidemic that was jumping off out in the streets in our neighborhoods, and things that was happening just in our everyday life, just to walk down the street on a regular basis. And then couple that with the internet, because, you know, the internet started coming alive when I was in high school. Yeah. Computers started to be a big thing when I was, and like,
everything is on the internet.
Yeah, when I was a sophomore. So that really changed the game up for a whole lot of us. You know, the internet that's a bad boy. Yeah. You know, the internet is a bad boy. So, you know, I think one of the things that maybe kind of helped with my kids in the rearing, we didn't have a computer. I couldn't afford one. Right. They didn't have cell phones. And when they did get cell phones, I was all on that. Hey, look, if a girl texts you, hey, make sure that chick got clothes on. Don't be releasing, because that stuff was in the news. It was on Facebook.
Yes.
Kids is going to jail. Little black boys is getting prosecuted.
One of my students
for
got
having
prosecuted.
porno on their phone because some girl done sent him a pic of her topless, and now they want to prosecute this young man. But he didn't make her send the pic. Even if he asked for it, he didn't make her do it.
Right.
So you gonna prosecute this boy and say he has child pornography? He's 17, she's 16. You want to charge him as an adult, but she ain't. So, but this little black boy, and we just gonna keep it real. Cause that's just what it was. It was a little black boy and it was a little white girl.
That happened to one of my students. It wasn't even his picture. Somebody sent the picture to him. The girl got in trouble. The boy who had it originally, who passed it out to all of these people, but all 5 of the other boys who had it on their phones, they all got expelled. And that was like the hardest meeting in the city. And to tell this parent, your son's going to be expelled from school because he had the picture on his phone, when in actuality, that's what kids do. If I got a picture of some boobies and I'm a boy and I want all my friends to see it too, I got boobies. Because that's what they do.
And I just think that is just totally unfair.
Yes.
It's, we already, that's a whole nother subject, but let me just say this. We have to let it be known that, hey, look, little girl, this is your body, and you know what I'm saying? You can't just go all willy-nilly like that, because this is what they're going to share your boobs.
Yeah, because that's what boys do.
They're boys. All of y'all are walking hormones. All of you.
Oh my God, they are.
Hey, listen, and that's something important to remember. When you have teenagers, I have seen a lot of women fuss and yell and cuss and fight especially their daughters, because you being fast, you doing this, you doing that. Honey, you was walking hormone too.
Right.
Your mama was on you too. When I talk to my daughter, and I thank God I only had the one, but when I talk to her, I let her know, hey, look, before I'm talking to you as your mother, but I'm a woman first.
Right. And
I remember what it was like to be your age and to have these feelings and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And we talk like that. And she got fly at the mouth when I went through her phones, and you going through my stuff now. Look, first, you don't have a job.
Right.
I pay this bill. This is my phone. I let you use it. Right. So I can go through it whenever I want to. Understand that.
Right.
Secondly, this conversation can go one or two ways. It can go left or it can go right. If you come at me with that attitude again, it's going to go way left. I'm trying to keep it right.
Right. And you're a little light to be walking around with your lip like this.
All I'm saying is, we can have one of two relationships. The one we always arguing and fighting and we don't get along. Or we can have the one where we can have nice, civilized, logical conversations, and I can treat you like the young woman that you are coming up into your womanhood. And I can tell you what's going on and I can guide you. I don't have to beat you or cuss at you, or it's not none of that. Right. I know what you're going through. I went through that. I don't want to fuss at you to get I want to tell you not to do this, not because you're a girl. Yes, because you're a girl and you shouldn't do it, but more because as a woman who went through it, I know what it was like. Right. And once you do it, you can't take it back. You can't take, it's out there forever. You can't take it back.
That's on so many levels.
On so many things. Yes. Yeah, and you can't,
once it's done, it's done.
You can't take back what you've given to somebody else. And then to find out in the long run that person was not worthy of you. Yes. Regardless of what anybody tells you. I told my sons the same thing. You are a treasure. You are gold. You are precious. You are wonderful. My boys, as well as my girl. Yes, you are. I don't care what nobody tell you. You special than a motherfucker. You are. You special. And somebody should be worthy of you. Male or female, they should be. They should respect you. They should care about you. And you should matter. If you're going to give any part of yourself, your time, your energy, your body, any of that. If you're going to give that to someone, they should be worthy of you. And I'm not telling you this because I'm telling you this because I learned the hard way. Right. There's been many a frog that I've kissed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you kissing
right.
toads.
You shouldn't have to kiss every frog.
You shouldn't have to kiss a toad to find your prince. Your prince should present himself as a prince when he meets you.
There it is.
And And so should your queen, your princess. Your princess should present herself as a princess when she meets you, when you see her. And no, it's not cool to go sleep around with a whole bunch of chicks. It's not cool to get a bunch of notches under your belt and spread yourself thin like that. It's not cool.
No.
Not for a male, not for a female. It's not cool.
No, because, which this is a whole nother show, but when we talk about...
Girl, yes.
About, sexual energies and leaving a piece of yourself behind, each time.
I so believe that.
Yeah,
too.
that's serious.
I so believe
you have to remember that we got to talk about that
that's
for real.
That's
a whole nother show. So as we're wrapping up our show today, I have to thank you for being my honored co-host, and I think you may have to come back because we got some stuff. As you was talking, I was thinking about other stuff like, we got to talk about. That's a whole nother show.
Hey, therapy.
All right, so we're gonna finish this off. You got the self-care assignment. What did you say?
What did I? What? Huh?
What did you do? We talking about family. What would you say the self-care assignment is going to be?
Okay, the self-care assignment is going to be to reach out to your family. It don't matter who it is: grandma, grandpa, long lost uncle, cousins once removed on your granddaddy's side from the third generation, whatever. But reach out to your family, connect with your family. And allow yourself to be human. Stop putting these expectations on yourself and stop having regrets. You did the best you could in the moment that you could do it. And I probably got about 5 self-care assignments in there. I don't know. I'm sorry.
We're gonna go with
reaching out to family though. We're gonna go with value family. That's what we do. Value your family and talk to somebody in your family that you ain't talked to in a while. Reach out.
Okay. So as we wrap it up, as always, we got the brain science behind it all. So just as children's brains are changing drastically in the early years, so too are our brains changing as parents. You were not born a parent. Your brain has to change and rewire itself to be able to do it and to do it right. So here are 4 tips to help you out in this parenting thing. First, pay attention. We're often learning and growing in ways that we don't recognize until later. Maybe we've managed to become more patient or keep our calm for longer than normal during a toddler tantrum. It's easy to get into autopilot and ignore our changes, but paying attention to our own behaviors as well as our children's is the best way to start. Writing them down is even better, since when we can see evidence of our good and our bad days, we're better able to analyze what went wrong, what went right, and what we can do in the future. Set and visualize goals. There's a ton of research showing the power of intention and visualization in making progress. The same goes for learning through parenting. So there are many ways in which we can grow as parents and as people through our experience of parenting. We can become more resilient, more empathic, more playful, but we can't make headway everywhere at once. So pick one area to focus on to start. Celebrate small gains. Rather than making a huge major change at once, we can take time to celebrate some small way we've developed or something positive we've noticed in our parenting and share that gain with those around us, which went back to a self-care assignment we had a few weeks ago that says celebrate yourself. Don't wait on somebody else. Here's the biggest one, and this is where I struggle. Know that there's going to be setbacks. You're not going to get it all right all the time. So just as our brains are changing, change is gradual. So our progress in the path of learning through parenting is the important first step to recognize that we can learn through parenting. We can commit to trying, and then just as our children do, we can take baby steps and do our best to laugh along the way.
Well, all right.
So, did you have fun in your first episode?
I did. This was cool.
I like it.
I'm going to have to be back. This is infectious. I need therapy. This is it.
This is therapy.
Yeah.
So I invite you to follow us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as always, you can email us at flywithusla@gmail.com. I'm Lady Bounce. This is Kryptonite, and we out. Peace.
Peace.